This is before the picture. You can love New York baseball no matter what shade of blue you are wearing. I'm in a different studio right now than normally, and that's because my 2-year-old nephew's taking a nap in my normal studio upstairs, so I'll let him sleep soundly, and I can deal with this down here. So what brings us here today is the New York Post has published an article about a new playoff format that I guess is being considered to take effect in the next few years. It's got some people up in arms. Part of it I like, part of it I don't know what I think yet. Let me explain. Me and Billy have actually been proponents for expanded playoffs for quite some time because we think that will solve a few problems that baseball has, provided that we're not going deeper into November. We're just cutting the season shorter by maybe half a month and just filling that up with playoff baseball. Reason why it's good for the regular season is because less games, less opportunities to win increases the value of the individual win itself, meaning the regular season games become a little bit more important. This might attempt to eliminate some of the dead space in midsummer where everyone's just kind of cruising along waiting for the playoff stretch. This would, if done right, it gives more meaning to games. Kind of like how football, the reason why the 16 game, each individual game is so important in football is because they only have 16 games to win. Therefore, there's more weight riding on the individual game. Baseball doesn't have that. And I'm not saying go down to as little games in the NFL. That's not what I'm saying at all. If we cut it down and eliminate the fluff or the dead space, I think that would be good for baseball. That'll get more people interested and more people out to the ballpark. What will also get more people out to the ballpark is the idea that you have more playoff spots you can get to. And that's what I love about this whole thing is now teams that are traditionally in third place or fourth place, now you have more incentive to win and to try instead of opting to tank because you're just expecting for the Yankees and Red Sox to steamroll you. If you are a Rays, Orioles, or Blue Jays fan, this is fantastic news for you because over the course of my lifetime, I think I can count on one hand how many times the Yankees or Red Sox did not win the division. And I could only think of 2 off the top of my head. And there might even be more, I don't even know. But that's a problem. That's the reason why the wild card is expanded in the first place. So let's take into account there's more playoff spots available. Playoffs is meaningful baseball because it leads you directly to the World Series. So now there is a path for more teams to get to the World Series. That's a good thing because if you're a fan, especially if you're like a Blue Jays fan maybe, now you have an incentive to go out and watch because, oh no, we have something we can win. And if you're the owner, this can further eliminate the idea of tanking because now you have no excuse to tank. All this time you're saying, well, Yanks and Sox they're gonna run away with it. So how much are we really gonna try? No, now you're eliminating that. You're eliminating that almost entirely. Now there is no excuse because you can have an opportunity in third place. And the cool part is, I love the idea of giving the division leaders the bye because now that's the benefit to winning division. So you still have the incentive to win the division because you get the benefit of the bye. And you have the incentive to try to win anyway because now you can put yourself on a path to the World Series a little bit easier. When it's easier down a path to the World Series and you're in the playoffs, playoffs equal attendance and equal money. If more teams get in the playoffs, more people will show up, the sport will grow, and we would not be in this almost problem that we have. I have not heard one argument yet for why we should not do this that was not some sort of variation of, well, that's just not what I'm used to. I don't care what you're used to or not. Guess what? Baseball has a problem. And I've heard some people say, oh, we just try to stop bringing in these new fans. No, because what's going to happen is our fans are old and they're going to stop showing up because they're going to be in walkers and they're going to die off and the sport is going to plummet. That's a bad thing. We need more people to get in here. And you could do that by giving more teams more freaking hope. We're selling hope, guys. And if you think, yeah, well, like any of these teams are going to win, the World Series winner was just a wild card team. Oh, but they didn't belong there? But it's a damn good story. And people showed up to watch that. And it was a damn good story. And it was exhilarating to watch this underdog team win. Now everyone can have that hope and have that chance of maybe we get in the spot, there's something worth fighting for. And ownership will know there's no excuse to tank. There is something worth fighting for. Even if you're a bottom-of-the-barrel team like the Marlins, it's not unattainable. It is attainable, and that is why, if you're an owner, you are going to fight. And this will lead to, if these are owners who, like the Wilpons, just don't care, now, this is also good if you're a fan. They're going to sell teams to someone who does care. There's no way this does not work out well for baseball if you expand the playoffs the way that they are proposing to. The weird part that I have is this pick your opponent thing. I'm not, I don't hate it because I haven't really had much time to process it or think about it yet. So it seems to me that the advantage to this is because they want to create like a TV show to get people to go on and talk about this and decide, similar to something you see on Monday Night Raw. And I love wrestling. I don't know how much I want wrestling in baseball. It's just weird because if the seeding, if your playoff spot is determined by a seeding and therefore it's mathematical, then your opponent is determined by something discretionary and not mathematical. It just seems like an uneven fit. I otherwise because it sounds crazy enough to just get me to wonder and ask why. I'm very interested to see. So far, everyone's immediate reaction is, "Oh hell no!" Could people just apply some context and maybe some, I don't know, thought and reason instead of just swearing and saying yes or no? Can you actually give us some thought process? I'm not really seeing much of that. I'm trying to be a thoughtful person about it because I generally don't know. As of right now, I'm not turned on to it because I just don't see a benefit so great that it requires a complete overhaul of the playoff format in that regard. I do see the benefit in going in an overhaul, meaning adding a playoff spot. I do not see the benefit in making teams select who they play. I don't yet, but I want to be convinced otherwise. But if this stuff does happen, this could lead to expansion teams and maybe a realignment of the divisions. I'll let Billy make a video about realignment because he feels much more passionately and much more knowledgeable about that than I do. So I'll let him do the talking for that. Speaking of Billy, he actually just put up a video about how he feels about the National League adopting the designated hitter. Guys should definitely go check that out. I don't even know what his thoughts are about it yet. He actually made it. He and I haven't talked much in the past week since. So I'm going to be going to look at that, and I think you guys should too. That's all I got because spring training is coming around the corner, and we will be with you every step of the way for the Yankees and the Mets because God knows ESPN is not going to do it. They will not do it so much that they even took MLB off the search bar at the top, from what I'm told. I haven't gone to look yet. ESPN. Adios, guys. We'll see you soon.